So I want to talk to you today about how do we get the we talked about the door math. So how do we get those numbers down? What's our approach to doing better on not taking 200 doors to get a contract. Let's get to 10, 15 doors, 25 doors to get one contract. So the first thing to talk about is how we're going to pick which doors that we knock. In general, the first thing I would say about picking which doors to knock is you can knock doors that are going to be doors on $6,000 roofs that get you paid $480 in commission for each roof that you do, or you can knock the doors of $40,000 roofs that get you paid. What would that be? That'd be 800 times 3, $2,400 on a roof, I think. So, do you want to make $2,000 for every sale you make, or do you want to make $640 for every sale you make? That's your decision. You get to decide what neighborhood you drive into. You get to just, do you want the small roofs? Do you want the big roofs? It seems like a pretty easy decision to me. You want to be knocking doors where you're going to make more money. The other thing about in terms of picking doors is, you want to talk to, if you want to knock fewer doors, you need to talk to people who are home. So one of my suggestions is that if you're between the hours of 8 and 5 is look for signs of life. Is there a car in the driveway? Is the garage door open? Is there someone mowing the lawn? Go talk to them. Any signs of life that would suggest someone's home, pull into walk into that driveway and talk to those people. For me, generally speaking, if I'm knocking doors, I'm usually in an area where finding someone home and talking to someone has the opportunity to earn me $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for each sale that I get. So we've got door hangers so that you can leave a door hanger and people can call you back. There's not a high rate of return on those, but if I'm in a neighborhood where I could earn $5,000 on every roof, I want to talk to every person that I possibly can. So it's up to you. It's your math on how you manage your business. So look for signs of life. The other thing to keep in mind is what kind of damage are you looking for. So we'll talk about hail maps probably next week. Talk about how to use those and determine what damage is. For your first couple days, we'll probably just play a little game I like to call Knock That Door. You'll be with an experienced account manager who knows which doors to knock, and he'll say, knock that door, and you go knock that door. But as you start getting out on your own, what you'll want to do is kind of know what kind of damage, what's the story in the area. If a hailstorm comes through and there's 2-inch hail, 2-inch hail will damage every roof in the neighborhood. I've worked a 2-inch hailstorm before, and we were installing an entire neighborhood of roofs in April for a neighborhood that had just finished roofing most of the brand new homes. Brand new homes were roofed that winter, so we were re-roofing roofs that were less than 3 months old. On the other hand, if you've got, we'll have 3/4 of an inch hail all the time. 3/4 of an inch hail will do a lot of damage to older roofs. And so if you're in an area where it's been hit by smaller hail, then you want to kind of do what I call cherry pick. So what you're going to do is look for older roofs. So what you'll look for roofs that have algae on them, the streaking that grows on the west side of the roofs. So basically what you'll do is cherry pick. So look for algae on the roof. The algae will tell you that the roof's over 10 years old. It doesn't mean that the roof has storm damage. So let me kind of explain the algae to you. Every shingle manufacturer puts copper in their roof. They put copper in the roof because when it rains, a little bit of that copper comes down with the rain, and something about the copper kills the algae, keeps it from growing on the roof. Most for the vast majority of shingle manufacturers, that copper only lasts for 10 years. So when you see algae on the roof, that means that the roof is over 10 years old. Does it mean it has storm damage? Not necessarily. Algae is not storm damage. It's not damage of any kind. It's just algae. The only thing that is it's aesthetically not pleasing, and it lets you know that the roof is over 10 years old. But 10 years of weather in the Midwest means it's probably been exposed to hail at some point in its life. So cherry picking basically means you're looking for older roofs with algae in an area that's recently been hit by a storm, and also looking for some signs of life. So that's what I mean by cherry picking. Now, if I'm in a neighborhood with larger roofs, if I'm in an area where everything seems to be getting bought, I'm probably not going to cherry pick as much. So you're going to kind of, I'd say for today, just cherry pick. It's easier, but you want to know as we move on, you're going to learn when to cherry pick and when to not cherry pick. So once you decide which door to knock, as you are walking up to the door, there are a couple things that I want you to look for. First is there anything that I can use that I'm noticing on my way up there that I can use to establish rapport? Anything that you can bring up and talk to people. So, I mean, my favorite story about this is one time I was knocking doors in the neighborhood, and I went to a college. I went to Wabash College, and our big rival was DePaul University. And so, as I'm walking up to this door, I noticed that they have a rock that says Wabash College on it. And so this lady opens the door, and I say, "DePaul to hell, we want the bell," because that was just kind of one of the things we always said. The lady's eyes got as big as saucers. She's like, "I don't know who you are or what you're here for, but you got to come in here and have a beer with us." So, looking for something like that, something that you can use to bond and create rapport, some type of story. It should be short and sweet. It shouldn't be some long, drawn out, like talk to someone for an hour about anything. What you want to do is develop enough rapport and then move into your spiel. You don't always have to develop rapport if there's nothing to use. Don't worry about it. It's not that big a deal. But if you can find things like that and use them to your advantage, by all means, do so. Typically, what I'm going to do at a door is you need to have a reason for being there. So the best reason for being there is we're doing the neighbor's roof. So anytime you can, hang out by an install. If, for the most part, we have an install nearly every day. If we don't have an install today, or if you look at the installs that are on the calendar, you're like, those are all $6,000 roofs, I'm not going to waste my time. You can use other people's installs. Believe it or not, we have competitors, and those competitors do roofs. And when they do roofs, you can hear the nails, you can see the shingles going on, and a lot of times people may not do a great job of knocking their own installs. I mean, you'd be surprised how many salespeople knock a neighborhood once and they get 2 or 3 contracts out of there, and they're like, well, that's all I'm going to get out of the neighborhood. No, it's not. I would recommend knocking a neighborhood every time you do an install. Whether it's, especially if you're in a neighborhood where if you got large dollar roofs, if you got roofs with hail damage and the ability to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 out of them, knock that neighborhood every time we've got an install, because each event is a great opportunity. It's each time there's a roof that goes on, it's going to move people closer to getting a roof. I mean, some people, the moment a little bit of hail hits, they're ready to get a roof. Other people, once they see one roof go on, they're ready to sign up. Some people need to see 3 or 4 roofs go on before they're ready to move forward. But each time we do a roof in the neighborhood, each time we put a new sign up, each time they see our truck there, it's getting them more familiar with us. It's getting them more certain that insurance company's going to pay for their roof. Basically, every time we do an install, installs are the biggest way to remove objections. I had there was a massive neighborhood right behind where my parents lived, and I got actually my childhood dentist signed him up. And the day that I signed him up, I found damage on his roof. I signed him up. I started talking to the neighbors. The neighbors wanted nothing to do with me. I even though I explained to them that I was working with the Johnsons, they wanted nothing to do with me that day. I went through the whole neighborhood. They were just upset that someone else was there. There was another contractor in the neighborhood. He told them that, the hail that came through wasn't big enough to justify doing, whatever. I think he also was the type, he wasn't a roofer. He wanted to do other jobs, so it wasn't a big deal to him. So everybody told me that, we've got another, we're friends with the contractor in the neighborhood. He told us there's not enough damage. I shrugged, waited until the adjuster meeting, got the Johnson's roof bought. The day we did the install, I went through that neighborhood again and signed up 50% of the people I talked to. And each one of these roofs was $30,000, $40,000 roofs. So if I had taken the approach, if I had taken, that first day, nobody liked me. Nobody wanted to talk with me. They basically hated the fact that I was on their property that first day. After I was doing the install, it got real easy. I talked to the neighbor. She said, well, we talked with Joe, the other contractor. He said there wasn't enough damage to get the roof paid for. And I just kind of slowly looked over at the Johnson's roof and was, we're doing the Johnson's roof today. It's logic that's hard to defy. The lady just kind of shrugged her shoulders, signed up with me, and it was that roof itself was a $60,000 roof with the copper and everything that went in. So my point is, the neighborhood's not tapped out until every roof is done. No doesn't mean never. It means not today. So every time, if you're in a neighborhood with a lot of good roofs, and in a neighborhood with hail damage, every time there's an install is an opportunity to go back and talk to people. If you talk to them before, say, hey, Sally, I know we talked back in June, but this is the third roof we put on. You said you were concerned that there wasn't enough damage to get the roof paid for. Who'd you say your insurance was through? Oh, it was State Farm. Well, they bought that one and that one. Don't you think they're going to buy yours too? So installs remove objections. So let's get back. I guess I should probably get back on track. So as you're walking up to the neighborhood, or as you're walking up to the door, you're looking for something to build rapport. You are looking for damage that you can see to the property. So as you're walking past downspouts, as you're walking past siding, just be looking for those little hail dings that you might see along the way, because that can be a great, when someone says, oh, no, we're fine. Well, have you seen this? And you can point out the hail damage just spotted along the way. So it's just an opportunity to help you overcome objections if you can find some hail damage as you're on your way. Also, one of the things we talked about is you're looking for lichen or algae that's growing on the roof. So you're looking for hail damage or lichen or algae on the roof, and you can use that to overcome objections. As you ring the doorbell, one of the most important parts of success is going to be your attitude. And it's not like I don't, people work with people who are happy. And when I say happy, I mean genuine happiness, not just, people can see if you just put on a smile. There is no room for negativity in this industry. If there's another, trust me, there are going to be salespeople that are circling the drain and they're on their way out all the time. That's the nature of sales. That's every place you go, every industry you work in. There are going to be people who are succeeding, and there are going to be people who are circling the drain on their way out. There are going to be more of those than there are the people that succeed. That's the nature of sales. That's the reality of the industry that we're in. If you want to succeed in sales, whether it's here or anywhere else, there is no space in your life for those people. Those people that the moment they start talking negatively, you've got to walk away from those people. It's up to you to protect your attitude and your approach. The voices in your head have to be positive all the time. So as I'm standing there at the door, that's when it becomes the most important to keep that positive attitude. And you have the choice. You get to decide what you're thinking. I mean, most people don't realize this. I mean, you get to decide what you're focused on. You get to decide what you're thinking. You get to decide what your attitude is. So you can think, well, man, you can be thinking about the last 10 no's you took. You can be thinking about it. It's your decision. Are you going to focus on something negative, or are you going to focus on something positive? One of my favorite sales guys that I worked with, we were out knocking doors, and he's like, "Yo, I just love this. I don't know. I can't believe we get paid to do this. I mean, basically, I get to go on a walk through a neighborhood and talk with people about roofs, and then climb up there and play on a roof. Like, life doesn't get any better than this." And that needs to be your approach. Like, look at me. Like, it's a beautiful day. I get to be outside. I get to be talking to people. I get to have a good time. That's what you need to be thinking about. You have to choose to think about those things. You have to choose. Like, all I have to do is sign one contract a day, and I'm on my way to making $200,000 a year. All I have to do is smile and talk to this person, and I'm on my way to make $200,000 a year. You have to decide, do I feel like I'm bothering people, or do I feel like I'm here to help people? Lucky, like, how lucky is this person that I'm here to help them? Remind yourself that there are plenty of roofers in this industry that will scam people. You're going to see, you're going to come across people who, I'd love to work with you, but I already filed a claim and I got the check and I gave it to, Chuck in a truck, and they disappeared. They went out of business. They filed bankruptcy. And so now I don't know how I'm going to pay for my roof. That's a story that you will legitimately hear in this industry. So, or you're going to come across people with missing tabs and like, yeah, I just got my roof replaced 3 months ago, and you can see all these shingles have blown off, and I can't get this company to respond to me. That's a story that I've had happen to me. That's a story that I've run across where a competitor has done that to homeowners. Probably everyone you meet has a bad story about a contractor. So, I'm not going to promise you, this is construction. Things will go wrong. You're going to have files where we go out and something happens and things get broken. That's the nature of construction. Things happen. Crews have stupid things happen. You'll be shocked in the way that things can go wrong. But what I can promise you is that we will take care of those things. We'll get out there, we'll get them fixed, get that person taken care of. It may not happen as quickly as we would like to. I mean, we're a small company, but we will get this. We get things taken care of. And what you need to understand is that is the sign of a great company. Ultimately, we're going to make mistakes, but we are going to take care of them. And for that homeowner, as you're knocking that door, how lucky is that homeowner that you are the one that's at their door? You're with a reputable company. You're with a company that's been in business here in the area for over 8 years. We've been in business. We take care of people. We make mistakes and we fix them. They're lucky to have you at their door. How lucky are they that you're there to get them $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 worth of improvements to their home, and they're out of pocket, just their deductible. It's like you're giving away roofs. That's got to be the approach that's going through your head. You get to decide your mental state. At the end of the day, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a motivational speaker by any means. And I would highly recommend, if you don't do this already, go out, get capes from Tony Robbins, get invest in your your focus and in your mental state. Knocking doors day after day, it's not the easiest thing to do, and staying on top of your game, staying on top of your approach, keeping the right mental state, it's key to this, and there are things you can do to control that, and it's beyond the scope of these training videos. But I highly recommend, like, get those, put them in your truck, listen to them. Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, whatever motivational speaker you like, get them. Listen on listen on iPad or listen on your phone, but make sure that your mental attitude is where it needs to be. Another technique that I would use a lot at when I was standing at the door is I would tell myself a stupid joke, and just kind of like I would tell myself a stupid joke and try to genuinely laugh at it while I was waiting for that person to show up, so that I felt like I kind of had that twinkle in my eye, like I had just laughed at a joke and was a genuinely fun, warm, caring person that someone wants to work with, because that first impression is huge. So you want to make sure that you have the right attitude. The other thing to think about is your body language. So I'm going to ring the doorbell. I'm going to take a step back and step down off the doorstep. Especially if it's a woman who answers, you want to seem less imposing and less aggressive. So take a step back, step down off of the step. It'll make you look a little bit smaller, a little bit less imposing. The other thing is kind of have a palms up approach. It's I'm not going to get into psychology, but typically you want to look happy, you want to look excited, kind of palms up. And my approach on the door knock is typically going to be to explain why I'm there. So, hey, I'm Dustin with AMP Restoration. We're doing your neighbor's roof across the street. We got their roof paid for by State Farm. Just want to see if you'd be interested in free inspection. See if we can get your roof paid for by the insurance company as well. Simple, right? That's really the approach to the door knock. It's very simple. At the end of the day, the goal is just to the goal for today is just to knock as many doors as possible. You should, by the end of the week, have lined up, your minimum expectation by the end of this week is you should have lined up 2 inspections. A lot of people ask me as a sales manager, are my expectations reasonable? No, they're not. Getting 2 inspections by the end of the week is something, let's see, if you're getting started by 11, you should have 2 inspections lined up by about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And that's legit. Like, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you'll have lined up at least 2 inspections by this afternoon. Most likely, many of you will close. I'd say probably 50% of salespeople will get 1 contract by the end of their first day. That's a reasonable expectation. So minimum expectation for this week is that you will have at least two inspections lined up this week. You will have the pre-close memorized, and you'll have the way to explain the contract memorized. So those are the minimum expectations for this week. So what do I expect from you today? So celebrate failure. Like, you're going to get a lot of no's. Good. That's great. Every no that you get is 1 no closer to that first contract. It's that second contract. Every no that you take is closer to that homeowners, that guy that's tied into the homeowners association that loves you, that's going to refer him to everybody. Every no that you take is getting you closer to that $200,000 a year that you want to make. So go out there and get a lot of no's. Like, today is the day. Fail spectacularly. Like, just, when you get in the truck, you're going to be with another account manager. They're going to take you to a neighborhood. Get out there and knock as many doors as possible. There's no science to this. There is, I shouldn't say there's no science to this. There's no penalty for failure. There's no problem with failing. Like, the goal is to talk to as many people as possible, fall on your face, keep track of the objections you get, keep track of the things that people say. Basically, the goal is just to try, you go out there, fall on your face, fail a lot. That's the goal for today. So celebrate your failures, be excited about them, come back to the truck, give, every time you get a no, whoever you're working with, you give them a high five. Hey, I took another no. All right, that's great. Let's go get another one. Take another no. That's great. And you know what? What's going to happen? You're going to be shocked how few no's it takes to get your first yes. But for today, I don't expect you to get any. Just no expectations of yeses. We're just looking for no's. All right. Today's the day for no's. And if you accidentally take a yes, we won't be angry. But today is the day to go out and get no's. So go out there, get in the truck, and get a bunch of no's today. And that's your goal for today. So best of luck. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.